Welcome all of you. Today's topic is anti-nutritional factors. Let us see what are anti-nutritional factors. So the compounds or substance which act to reduce or interfere with the nutrient uptake or utilization in our body are termed as anti-nutritional factors. They are basically secondary plant metabolites. They can cause depression in growth performance and can reduce the protein digestibility in our body. They bind to various nutrients or damage the intestinal wall, lowering the digestive efficiency in our body. These antinutrients are produced by plants as a part of their defense mechanism. As the plants need to protect their seeds from consumption and destruction by other organisms, so these antinutritional factors evolved as poisons, making the ingester sick or block the digestion of the seed so they are excreted undamaged. And this is the way the animal spread the seeds all around the forest. There are various types of anti-nutritional factors, or anti-nutritional factors can be classified on the basis of their chemical structures. So proteins which act as anti-nutritional factors are protease inhibitors, trypsin inhibitors, chymotrypsin, hemagglutinins, amylase inhibitors, food allergens, toxic amino acids. Glycosides like saponins, cyanogens, estrogens, goitrogens, phenols like gossypol, tannins, and others anti-nutritional factors like antiminerals, antivitamins, phytic acid, plant carcinogens, etc. Let us see one by one the anti-nutritional factors. First is protease inhibitor. It is found in most legumes and cereals. It inhibits the proteolytic enzyme that is needed to break down the protein in our body. So they are trypsin and chymotrypsin. These enzymes are proteolytic enzyme. So this protease inhibitor inhibit this enzyme, which ultimately decrease the protein digestibility in our body. It also retard the growth and cause pancreatic hypertrophy. It damages the connection between the erythrocytes. Now, the removal of protease inhibitor can be by following ways. First is by autoclaving the soybean for 20 minutes at 115 degrees Celsius or at 40 minutes at 107 to 108 degrees Celsius. We can soak the soybean in water for 12 to 24 hours and then go for the heat treatment, which is more effective method. Boiling at 100 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 minutes is sufficient to improve the nutritional value of the soaked soybean. As protease inhibitor are protein in nature, so heat denatures the protein. Example of protease inhibitor are trypsin inhibitor present in milk and chymotrypsin inhibitor in potatoes. Next anti-nutritional factors is phytic acid or phytate. In immature seeds, it contains about 0.5 to 5%. These are generally regarded as the primary storage form for phosphate and inositol in all the legumes, seed plants. In food legumes, a large portion, that is approximately 60 to 80% of phosphorus present, is in the form of phytic acid, primarily as a complex salt of minerals or complexed with the proteins. Now let us see what effect it causes on the consumption. Phytates involved in lowering the bioavailability of the minerals. They interfere by lowering the mineral bioavailability in our body. They interact also with the protein, resulting in reduced protein solubility. The main mechanism is the phytate present in the seeds or legumes bind with different metal ions, that is, they chelate, and the absorption of these minerals in our body or through small intestine lowers down, and this way it interfere with the absorption of the minerals in our body. Let's see what are the methods of reduction of phytic acid or phytate from the food. So phytase activity or enzyme can reduce the phytic acid level. Vitamin D consumption can also help in reducing the effect of phytic acid or phytate in our body. The calcium absorption is dependent on the vitamin D consumption. So if vitamin D is limiting in our diet, the calcium absorption will be less efficient and phytate effect will be more prominent. So improved or increased amount of vitamin D consumption also help to reduce the effect of this anti-nutritional factor. Food processing involving the activity of phytase can also drastically reduce the phytate content of various food products. For example, bread. Next anti-nutritional factors is lectins known as hemagglutinins. So they are present in peanuts, soybean and various legumes, potato, banana, mango and wheat germ. They are basically protein having high specific binding sites for carbohydrates, and they bind glycoprotein and sugar from the cell membranes. They have a special ability of agglutination or agglomeration of red blood cells with known sugar specificity. Therefore, their name is hemagglutinins. Let us see what is the mechanism behind the lectins. So, they have the ability to bind with the brush borders which are present on the distal part of small intestine and thus disrupt the digestion process. It also binds to erythrocytes and cause agglutination, which ultimately causes anemia. It also decreases cell to cell interaction. The activity of these lectins can be reduced by heat processing, but lower temperature cooking or insufficient cooking may not completely eliminate their toxicity, so proper heat processing is needed as some plant lectins are resistant to heat. Next anti-nutritional factors are tannins. They are yellowish or brownish bitter tasting plant polyphenolic compounds. They are found in cotton seeds, canola and sorghum. The major food source for tannin are tea, coffee and cocoa. The total tannin intake by humans is of particular importance because tea has the highest tannin content. The other important sources of tannins are grapes, grape juice, and wines. A person may easily ingest 1 to 5 gram tannins per day. There are two types of tannins, that are hydrolyzable and condensed. The condensed tannins majorly causes the problem or shows the anti-nutritional effects. The hydrolyzable tannins are gallic acid, digallic, ellagic acids, esters of glucose or quinic acids. The condensed tannins are flavonoids and they are polymers of leucoanthocyanidins. The tannins bind to the protein, which include dietary protein, digestive enzyme and proteins which assist in nutrient absorption in the gut and decreases the protein digestibility. Heating is less effective when we talk about tannins as they are heat stable. Tannic acid has been reported to cause acute liver injury, that is liver necrosis and fatty liver. So this was about some anti-nutritional factors. The remaining anti-nutritional factors will be covered in the second part of the video. Thank you.